a relationship expert, Apostle Kingsley Papami. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Yes, madam.
It's good to have you once again.
Sure.
And then I also have with me Divine Bernard. How are you doing?
Very well.
Divine is also a relationship expert. So today we are going to level it up. Are you ready for me?
Sure.
All right, let's look at it. In relationships, communications allow you to explain to someone else what you are experiencing and what your needs are. It also helps you to connect to your partner. It helps you to connect in terms of relationship, because without communication, of course, there will definitely be no connection. And of course, we have different patterns of communication, but today we just want to look at communication in relationships, because this is actually a lot of problems in the society. People really do not know how to communicate with their partners. That is why we have relationship experts here to break it down for us, not just them, for us. All right, Divine, let me understand. I know if I ask you what is communication, a lot of persons have different perspectives about communication. But before I ask if relationship can actually exist without communication, let me know what communication is first in your own perspective.
Well, thank you. In my perspective, communication for me is a two-way interaction between persons, two persons. And it is very important in every relationship, in human interaction. It is passing a message and receiving a message.
Okay, thank you so much. And Apostle Papami,
Yes.
do you agree with Divine?
Yes, to some certain extent I agree with her, because communication...
Not completely.
Yeah, but no, completely.
Okay.
Completely. But I just want to add, communication is all about, as she has said, an interaction between persons, and also between one. Between one person and the other, and between groups. But that communication goes further to explain and express the feeling of one person and the other. That's why we get the feeling. From interaction, you'll be able to know if the other person is angry, or the other person is laughing, or the other person is unhappy. From the communication, you'll be able to understand actually what is happening and the issues that are being negotiated in the communication. But that communication, as it is both external and internal by its formation. Communication is internal and external. Internal in the sense that at home, domestically, communication flows between the husband and the wife and the children as a family. And also externally, when you come out, you meet friends, you meet colleagues, you meet partners, you meet well-wishers. When you interact with them, it's also communication. So that's the communication, that's the external communication.
Apostle,
yes.
Are you saying that if I am communicating with my husband outside, that is internal? I want to understand, because you say when you are at home,
yes,
that is internal, and then when you are outside talking to other people, that is external.
Yes.
So what if I'm talking to my family outside? Is that still supposed to be internal?
No. What I'm saying is that they're looking at the creation of the family. We're talking about relationship here. Looking at the creation of the family.
Okay.
The family is all about everything that concerns the family is assumed to be internal because it's domestic. But when you come outside your family, you also meet other people. All right? Like the Christian family. You know, when one is undergoing maybe counseling, you understand me? The counseling at home is different from the counseling in the church.
Okay.
I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying that there is an internal communication and external communication.
All right, so we will deep into that very communication aspect you're talking about. But Divine, let me get to know, of course, if we want to talk about define what communication is, we will keep giving different definitions. Yes. So many persons have different interpretation about this. But I'd like to know, how can partners improve in their communication? That is one of the things that is really actually made us to come out here, because like I said, a lot of persons do not know how to communicate. So how can they improve their communication skill?
Sure.
Now, I think it's very important for partners to understand each other, to have a clear understanding of the kind of person, that's the kind of personality that they are. A man should understand the way his woman likes to be communicated to. The woman should understand how the man likes to receive his messages. Because not two persons understand the same thing the same way. Not two persons can receive a message the same way as the other person. Some people like action, some people prefer words. So you need to understand your partner to know the right way to communicate with them.
Okay, so thank you so much, Divine. Apostle Papame.
Yes.
All right, let me get to hear from you. How can partner, marriage is two imperfect people coming together,
Sure,
trying to be perfect. And then a message comes and both of them understand differently. In the process of trying to explain to each other, argument comes in. At the end of the day, one person might be like, okay, I understand. Not really that he or she understood, but they just want it to die off. At the end of the day, there was no communication. So how can they improve in order to always be on the same side, on the same lane when it's time for communication? We know there are so many ways to communicate, but even in the midst of so many ways, a lot of persons do not still understand. So how can they improve that?
Yes, I think the head of the family is the man, isn't it?
Okay, yes.
Yes, the head of the man is the family. The head of the family is the man. And in every family put together, in every family, if the woman will allow, I use the word will allow, the man to bear that responsibility, I think there will be an understanding. Because I find so many questions to ask the female and the male, or the man and the woman in relationship, who at every little issue goes into provocation. Very little words, they are going to provocation. Before you know, they are quarreling. Before you know, they are disagreeing, and they are not coming up with any solution. Such families have been on the prowl. But what we are saying here right now is that in such circumstances, as she has already said, understanding. When you talk about marriage, marriage is all about understanding. Because the marriage went through a process. And what is the process of marriage? 1, dating. 2, courtship. 3, engagement. 4, marriage proper. This is a procedure.
Before you proceed, yes, let's understand, because if you keep going, you might just get lost.
Yes.
Are you saying that because a man is the head of the home?
Yes.
So whatever the man says, whether I agree or not, whether I understand or not, I should just allow him to win.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you through the process. The process, when you go through the marriage process already, you have already known that whatever decision that the family is going to take on that very discussion, on that very agreement, that the decision must end on the table of the man. That's it. I'm coming. Just get me. The buck must end on the table of the man. Okay. When you must have accepted that, all right, then we can now say that it's all about understanding. Because the woman needs to understand the man, and the man needs to understand the woman. And before they came together, they have gone through a process of screening by the word of God, screening by their attitudes and behaviors they need to throw away, and taking a new one to be able to refine them so that they can be able to have a common understanding and to arrive at a result. All right. So if they didn't go through the process, that is where it will be very difficult for one to keep explaining and keep advising and keep urging one of the partners together. But where they have gone through the process, it becomes so simple. All right. It becomes so simple that the man and the woman could then talk and then said, yes, I think this is the right answer and this is the other right answer. I don't know what I mean. So the man will not, of course, will not just take the decision and say, this is where we're going. No. Okay. Of course, he will consider the wife's suggestion to what he's saying or what the children will say concerning that issue, and then come up with this. He would say, from what I have gathered and from our experience, I think this is what is better or what is best for this family. I don't know whether you're getting me. Okay. So that is where the communication goes. But I see a reason why sometimes some women will not want to talk, in the presence of their husband, because they don't want the children to experience where the mother and the father are quarreling. All right. And in such circumstances, you will see where the man will, the woman will try to avoid the open quarrel. Because
the man is the head of the home.
No, I'm coming. Not because the man, because she does not want the children to experience any quarrel in the family. I'm coming. She does
not. Why does it have to be that she has to make the sacrifice? I do not quite agree that it has to be the woman making the sacrifice. Yes. I believe that in a relationship, a marriage is supposed to be about love.
Is what I'm saying.
Understanding.
That is what I'm saying.
Without ego. I believe that ego should be taken apart from a marriage, because you are one now.
Yes, I'm not.
You do not see yourself as a separate individual.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody, in a sense, higher than the other. You are one. You cannot split yourself in half and say this is bigger than the other.
I said in circumstances where the woman could not express herself. I'm coming. In the sense that I'm coming.
Mr. George, wait. If I understand you better, if I understand you too well, you said most times why she, because you've been using she, do not want to go into discuss with the husband is because she doesn't want, in some scenarios, is because she does not want the children to see them having unnecessary arguments over an issue. Is it that anytime a woman wants to meet their husband to talk about something, she's always anticipating a kind of mix-up? No, is that not in a kind of...
no,
that's wrong.
It's what I'm saying. I said that is not true. It's not true because I said there's a process that these people have gone through.
But do you know that so many persons have actually not gone through that process? Mr. George, you can tell me that during your time when you got married, because, your generation...
30 years back, I know.
That time, parents just see, a man can just see a lady out doing well and will just be like, my son, I want you to marry this person. Exactly. Nothing like engagement, nothing like courting, nothing like whatever. They just get married, and before you know that, doing well. And it seems that marriage of those days even lasts longer than now, that people have to court, have to go through all the 4 stages of marriage that you're talking about. Yes. So if you're telling me that because of the stage that a woman or a man should be able to understand someone, I'm still trying to understand. And then you come in with the idea of because this person is the head of the house. No. Did you know that women also take decision at home and then a man will agree to it? Because with where you are riding, it means that you are telling us that it's only a man that should take decision and then the woman should always agree to it. And if she does not, there might be misunderstanding in the process of trying to understand themselves.
I'm not saying so. I am saying that whatever decision that is taken, whatever decision that is taken,
should end at the table of the man.
That is it.
So what's the difference? What she just said.
What's the difference?
The difference is that there are certain times that our wives take decision without telling the man. I don't know whether you're getting me.
Are there times men take decision without telling the women?
Of course, there's also. There is.
Then that means there is balance.
It's I'm coming here. I'm coming. What I'm trying to say is that in a well-organized family, that's what we're because we want to keep a standard.
Yeah.
All right. For us, keeping a standard, we're not talking about yesterday. We're talking about today and what the future will help in building families. All right. That's what we're talking about. So if we're talking about that, what I'm trying to say is that there are certain times that the woman will be panicked, you know what I mean, of saying a particular thing that she'll feel that will cause rancor in the house. I'm coming. Certain times they take their phones, all right? You can quietly, you are talking about the communication.
Yeah.
She can quietly use her phone, does that mean send a text message to the husband.
Okay.
Even if he's at work and she's at home, or maybe she's somewhere else, send a text to him concerning this. I didn't like the way you addressed the matter last night. This is what I expected you to do, and all the rest. And you leave it there. Does that mean at a time when the man, maybe after his job and he comes home, does that mean he can then come and say, darling, come, please come. I saw the text you sent me. I'm not hungry. Yeah, this is what I meant. I don't know, you understand me?
Okay.
And he should be able to explain himself. And when he explains himself, you see them come together again. So the means of communication is not only the open one. All right? It can go by email. It can go by text message. All right? It can go by voicemail. Whatever way that she feels that she can communicate the matter, so that it will not cause rancor in the house for the children. Because maybe the children sees it. All right? Maybe yes, when the children sees it, they will take it from there. They even sing a song to them. Now you people are, two of you now. Look at you are smiling together. After this time, they start shouting. I don't know what else happening. So that thing will even make the children to hate themselves. One will be liking them, will be liking the mother. The other will be liking the son. And before you know, they are clashing.
All right. So
those are the things that we need to avoid.
Here.
Okay.
Yes. I do not believe that it is the sole responsibility of a woman to protect peace in the home. I believe that it takes both parties. That is why it is a relationship. That is why it is an interaction. And in a love relationship, which we are discussing, this is not a war relationship.
No, it's not.
Both parties, in order to achieve solution to a problem,
Of course,
should be able to communicate with each other in manners that both individuals understand each other without any form of ego.
sure.
For a marriage to work, I believe that ego should be taken aside. You need to understand that in as much as the man is king, we do not dispute that fact. The woman is also queen. The queen should worship the king. The king should honor his wife,
Yes,
the queen.
agreed.
So, I do not stand with it having to end just at the man's table. It should not be so. It should not be so. Because
all right.
a love affair, as I like to reiterate, should be void of ego.
Okay.
Should
So
be
you've
void
heard
of
it from
ego.
Divine that argument shouldn't end on the man's table, and then from Papame, it should end on the man's table. For you, what do you think? Where should it end? We are talking about a better way to communicate. Now, I actually like this aspect that came up. This is to let you know that when it has to do with communication, a lot of person feels that, yes, we know how to communicate, but honestly speaking, they do not know. That is why they keep fighting every day. So we would like to know, what are those challenges? Because there must be challenges before it gets to, no, it must end on my table. No, it mustn't end on your table. It must end on my table. So what are those challenges that cause this communication barrier in relationship? Devon, let me hear from you.
Okay. One of the challenges with communication is pride. You see, pride is a major problem when it comes to relationships. You need to first put away your pride for understanding to happen. When pride is killed in a relationship, and you have a better understanding that, look, this person, put it first in your mind, in your thoughts. Forget about the ego, forget about the pride. Put it first in your thoughts that this person, firstly, is my family, is my person. And this person is going to have my back, is expected to, is committed to having my back. And when you have that first in your thoughts and take away the pride, then 50 to 70% of the problem has been solved or will be solved.
Okay. Thank you so much. And Papame, What do you think are those barriers that hindered communication in relationships?
You see, what I identified as through my experience is more of disrespect. All right, it's more of disrespect, and the disrespect. I mean by disrespect, I mean the woman and the family and the children not taking the decisions of the head of the family, their father, very seriously. I'm not saying that they condemn. I'm not talking about condemnation here.
Okay.
Because they will not condemn their father or the husband. The woman will not condemn her husband. But that the form of disrespect that flows in families when there is rancor is the huge tax that is bothering most men.
Okay.
And that is why such families could not have what they demand. Because the family is all about love. If you look what keeps a married family, it's love. And if that love is absent, of course, you see quarrels coming here and there. And what brings disrespect most times is either the man could not meet up with his responsibilities. 2, that the man talks carelessly. When a man talks carelessly, it brings disrespect. 3, maybe the wife has found out that her husband is unfaithful and he has somebody outside. Now, these are some of the problems that actually bring about disrespect. And I want to advise both couples, not one, both couples, that where disrespect comes into a marriage, the family will never experience love and happiness any longer, and there will be no joy. Because the disrespect is what will make the man dishonor his wife, and the wife will dishonor her husband. So I want to advise that whatever it takes, since a man has agreed to be in union with a woman, what keeps the marriage going is all about respect. The man should be able to know his limit, and the woman should be able to know her limits. Because when the limits are destroyed, of course they can do anything. That's what it means.
All right.
So there should be limits.
Okay, this is Wedding Banter on Atlantic Television Network. We'll just go on a very short break. When we return, we'll continue with this communication. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Wedding Banter on Atlantic Television Network. Remember, you can join us on all our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Before we went on the short break, we were actually looking at communication in relationships. And of course, Apostle Papami actually said something that what brings barrier in communication, especially when it has to do with relationship, it has to do with disrespect. And Divine said is pride. And when we are talking about pride, pride has nothing to do with a man, has nothing to do with a woman. It's a two-way thing. And then talking about disrespect, Papamia was actually hammering on the man. And we are not disputing the fact that if a man is being disrespected, that there will be peace at home, all right? But at this moment, this is a time of stress. When a man is not happy in the home because maybe the mother is the woman, the wife is disrespecting him, or maybe the children, and the father is like, you cannot talk to your children to respect me as your father, and all of those. It's a time of stress. At this moment, how do you handle communication? Because if a man is angry, there is, if you like, speak in the smallest still voice. He might not understand, because you have been hammering on this. Yes. Let's get to know, because there are a lot of homes that wives do not respect their husband, especially because he mentioned something that actually struck me, when they don't meet up to their responsibility. There are so many men that have been laid off their jobs. There are so many of them that are expecting something huge. At the long run, they get disappointed. And maybe the woman is the one providing, and before you know, somehow, not intentional, disrespect gradually creep into the home, and then the children don't even see the father as a capable man anymore. They are not seeing the mother as the head of the house, in quotes. So how do they communicate? Because this is a serious barrier. I'm asking you, Papa, because you talked about this.
Yes, I think one of the ways that such is able to exercise love for the family, and the woman as well, exercising love. Because what put them together from the beginning is love. And that love is something that they need to sustain. That love that brought them together is what they need to sustain. Not minding the challenges that will come. Because before the marriage comes, you already know that when you are single, you need everything around you, and you go around enjoying yourself. But now that you are with somebody that you have sworn by the oath they are going to stay with this person forever, love is a persistent thing and it's consistent thing that will keep the marriage flowing if you want it. Because you need to look for it. You need to look for that love if it is lost. The man need to look for that love. The woman need to look for that love that they started with and sustain it. Because it's that set of character, that set of attitude is what will keep them going. Otherwise, before you know, one temptation or the other will flush them out.
All right, yes. Divine, what do you have to say to audience, especially those people, the viewers, especially those people that are having one challenge or the other in terms of communication? What do you have to say to them before we call it a day?
Okay, like I said earlier, remove pride, remove ego, be very honest, be clear, and understand the method that your partner likes to be communicated with. You need to understand the peculiarity of the partner and find the right way to speak to this person in which they would understand you. Take away your pride, understand that this person is your person first before the problem.
Thank you so much. And Apostle Papamia, before we join Port Harcourt residents to get their own opinion concerning communication in relationship, let me get to hear from you. What do you have to say to the viewers who are going through one challenges or the other in communicating in their relationship?
Yes, I think the basic thing that they need to do is that they should know the right channel, the right time, the right moment, and the right word to use. Because most times I see the husband or the wife not knowing the right word to use. Because you might use a wrong word and it will not give you the answer that you need. But if you use the right word, it will give you the right answer that you need. So I want to advise those outside there to know how to use the word, because the word that most of them use is it can break ceiling. It can break the ceiling. The words that some of them use, it can cause the kind of fire that cannot be quenched. So let us know how to use words. When we know how to use words as a form of communication, the words can bring back, because when you give out a word, you are expecting a response. You know what I mean? The response is what is critical, and if the response is gentle, it will bring back gentle answer. But if the response, I mean the words that come out of a man or a woman in a family is harsh, of course, you know the fire will burn.
It will burn.
So,
all right, thank you so much for coming. All right, and this is my own advice to you. Avoid raising your voice to the best of your ability. We all get carried away sometimes, of course. We all get carried away sometimes, but make it a goal of yours to be caring and gentle towards your partner, even when you are upset with them. try to mold your words, because your words can destroy and it can also build. Thank you so much, Divine, for joining me on today's show.
Thank you.
It was good having you.
Such a pleasure.
And thank you, Apostle Papamne,
Sure.
for coming on today's show. It was amazing. All right, before we call it a day, let's join Port Harcourt residents and get their own opinion on communication in relationship.
Communication is a key thing in a relationship, because in order for you to have a peaceful relationship, the both parties should give room to communication, because at times there are some things based on character and attitude issues we have, but if we don't talk about it, your partner or somebody beside you may not know how you feel. So it's good you express, even when you're angry, you express yourself, but you can express yourself constructively, not with that anger. But if you have expressed yourself and the recipient is able to hear you, the person will know how to deal with that issue or that problem. So communication is really vital in modern relationship.
Communication is essential in marriage, because without communication, your wife and your distance, definitely your distance, you're far away from one another. Communication is important because your wife can be in any situation, in any emergency, and can immediately call, this is my position, come around, make haste. You understand? There are situations, certain things might get out of the hands of the wife, minus she being in danger or emergency. Something is somewhere. There can be an opportunity for there to be an upliftment, you understand, to the progress of the family, and says, I had such information from the television, and your company name should be there. If you can contact that address, you understand, I think you can be a better position to have contract in that company. So communication is much important to a family, to a marriage, for upliftment, for a breakthrough, you understand, and understanding, to enable one another to know who you are and what you are, and it will speak the heart of one another.
Communication is very important, I would say, very, very important, because communication is the thing that keeps your mind going, even when you feel like you're falling out of love, and every other thing isn't working. Communicate. Okay, you're stressed from work. Can you communicate that this is just stress? It's not you that's my problem. I'm sorry it's coming off like you're the one that's causing me the stress. It's not that. I'm just overwhelmed, and all of that. Communicating helps your partner know how best to help you in any given situation that you're in, and it builds trust and more firmness bond between you and your partner to go the long-term mile. So yeah, I'd say communication should be the foundation of your marriage.
Before we talk about communication, we look at first of all the dimensions, because I was meant to understand that communication has to do with sharing of information from one person to another. So in relationship, there should be it's a two-way thing between the man and the woman, between the male and the female. So there should be, once there's a communication gap in relationship, we'll get it twisted. So communication is paramount in every relationship. For every relationship to stand that tall, it should be
Effective communication, not just communication, effective one as such. In the sense that in order does not do sin and be a bitch, and which will cause entertainment and will cause chaos in the family. So when we talk about communication as a two-way thing between the man and
think they make some women that they get peaceful mind. I go talk of my own. Well, since when I get married, my husband never carry hand up, say he go slap me. But the day when he say he go slap, I say, I better calm down. You know, calm down, either you kill me or I kill you. That first time till today at the end there, my husband na soldier, me I be soldier, two of us na soldier. So we retire for Biafra and Nigeria war. So love will depend though, as you keep your husband or as your husband keep you. Some men they carry up women, and there. Because of that, some women no dey endure and begin follow them, dey waka up and down. And e good when e dey comot for house, man keep something for women. For me, my husband dey make friend, but my eye, I just leave am. As far as him go waka come back home, and him go keep something for me when him go comot. So that love, and love depend. When at times to carry your women comot, that thing wey you dey see for hotel, your women get am. That thing wey you dey find for other women, your wife will get am. Anyhow wey you like, do am. You say your wife, you dey use hand o, you dey turn am upside down o, you say make him like do. All is love. Love no dey different. No bring katakata where your wife dey. If you bring katakata, your wife and you and children no go dey steady. So me, I think I'm like that too.
Lack of understanding, and when you're not prepared in going into marriage, I think there are a lot of issues, and when it is not properly handled, I think there will be fighting, quarrel, nagging, and the rest. Lastly, I will say that most times they say women are the ones that builds home. You have to swallow your pride, even though the man is at fault. After some time, perhaps he might come to his real senses and also apologize genuinely. But some men are actually so proud to say I'm sorry to their wives, which I think is not the right thing for any man to do. So, to be candid, peace is good.
When I give her something, when I give her better thing, she will happy now. Me, I will happy now. 12 days I will happy.
So there are a lot of things that could cause that, ranging from the state of the economy. In a typical home today, there's at least two people, that's the husband and the wife, and then if they have children, that's more mouths to feed, more bodies to clothe, and all those other things. So if there's not enough money coming in, more problem for the house. So, and apart from that, I believe families are supposed to help each other go through tough times. So in some households where there are that connection is not there, that's team work, so to say. That's where one person is there for the other person, and they're all there for each other. Where that is lacking, there's a higher chance of mental health issues developing. So I think that's just some of the few that is on my mind right now.
Based on a child of God, the Bible says the wife shall submit to the husband, and the husband shall love his wife. So if you can only follow these instructions, the way of God, or the ways of God and his principles are just easy to follow, and you see the blessings. So if you can just follow, if every couple can follow these simple instructions, I don't think they will ever have a problem. If a man like God's servant Pastor David Ibiome can be at peace, then it is possible for every other marriages to enjoy peace. So what I'm advising, or what I'm saying, is that follow the instructions, follow God's instructions, and enjoy peace. Leave the rest. Submit. Wives should submit to their husbands, and husbands, love your wife. My Papa will always say, if you beat your wife, then the person is a foolish person. Because the Bible says when a man leaves his father and mother, they cling onto one, making them one flesh. So if he's beating his wife, then he's beating himself, making him a madman. Do you understand? So he should love his wife, and the wife should submit to her husband.
Welcome back. I hope you had a swell time. Meanwhile, this is where we draw the curtain for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Immaculata Irikana. You can join us on all our media platforms. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Good evening.